The splash wasn't normal. It wasn't the kind of sound water made when a fish jumped or when a wave slapped the hull. It was sharp, heavy, like something big had burst through the surface with purpose. Adrian jerked up from the small bench on his boat, heart thumping. The ocean was quiet tonight, too quiet. But whatever that sound was, it didn't belong in that silence. He moved toward the edge and aimed his flashlight across the water. "Hello?" he called out, feeling stupid but unable to help himself. Then he saw her. A pale arm shot out from beneath the surface, fingers clawing for air, followed by a face half submerged and gasping. She wasn't flailing. She was reaching, toward him. Toward the boat. Adrian didn't hesitate. He leaned over, grabbed her wrist, and pulled with all his strength. She was shockingly cold, like pulling frozen meat from a freezer. Her hair clung to her face, long and silver white, and her eyes, God, those eyes, were huge and reflective, like polished shells catching the moonlight. She collapsed onto the deck, coughing out water. Adrian staggered back, breathing hard. "You all right?" "Hey, can you hear me?" he said. She lifted her head slowly. Her voice was soft but crystal clear. "You shouldn't have touched me." He blinked. "That's the thanks I get." She sat up a little, her wet hair falling back to reveal her shoulders, and the pale iridescent scales running down her sides. Adrian froze. "No way." She didn't react to his shock. Instead, she stared at him with an expression he couldn't read. Relief, fear, something worse. "You brought me aboard," she whispered. "That means you've accepted the bond." Adrian shook his head quickly. "I didn't accept anything. I just pulled you out of the water because you were drowning." "I wasn't drowning." Her gaze stayed locked on him. "I was looking for you." Adrian stepped back until his spine hit the rail. His breathing hitched. "Look, whatever you are, whoever you are, this is some misunderstanding. I don't even know you." She lowered her eyes, almost as if embarrassed. "My name is Lyrian." He didn't answer. Couldn't. She continued, "Your name is Adrian Pierce. Born in Seaford Bay. Age 28. DNA marker variant 3BX. A cold chill ran down Adrian's arms. "How the hell do you know that?" Lyrian reached behind her, bracing herself as if her ribs hurt. "Because you are the original donor. The template. Your genes were used to create my kind." He stared at her, unable to form a single coherent thought. What did you just say?" She lifted her leg. No, not a leg. The lower half of her body shimmered under the flashlight, revealing a sleek, tapered tail. Not fantasy blue or bright turquoise. More like deep graphite and silver, sharp and streamlined like something engineered for speed. Not mythical. Not magical. Designed. "Your species created us," she said quietly. "In the lab beneath the trench. Project Siren." Adrian swallowed hard. "I don't know what you're talking about. I've never worked for any lab." "No," she agreed gently. "But your father did." Adrian felt his throat close. His father had disappeared when he was 12. No body, no answers. Just vanished during a government dive assignment he wasn't supposed to talk about. Lyrian watched his expression shift and murmured, "You feel it. The connection. The part of you that's waking up." He didn't like how her words made his pulse spike. "Stop saying things like that. I can't. You need to understand why I came." Adrian pointed sharply at the water. "Get back in. Right now. I'll pretend this never happened." Her expression softened with something like sadness. "I can't go back alone. If they find me, they will kill me." "Who?" "The handlers. The ones who kept us." She looked away, whispering, "The ones who made us." Adrian rubbed his forehead, trying to make sense of anything. So what, you escaped? Yes. And swam, all the way here. I followed your signal. She touched her throat, where faint blue lines pulsed beneath her skin. Your genetic frequency. It's how we locate compatible humans. The word, compatible, made Adrian uneasy. Compatible for what? She held his gaze without blinking. Replication. His stomach dropped. No. Absolutely not. Whatever that means, no. It's not mating, she said quickly, sensing his panic. It is a controlled replication process. A merging of your genetic code with mine. Essential for our survival. Your DNA is the anchor for our reproductive algorithm. He let out a shaky laugh. Lady, you're not explaining this any better. I'm trying. Adrian backed away and grabbed his radio. I'm calling the Coast Guard. She flinched. If you do that, they will find me. They'll take me back. And you will go with them. That's not how rescue works. It is when you are an asset. Her voice trembled on that last word, like it hurt her to say it. Adrian hesitated. Just for a second. But that second was enough. Lyrian sensed it, her expression shifting into that same unreadable mixture of hope and desperation. You don't trust me, she murmured. I don't trust anything right now. But you didn't push me overboard, she said softly. And that means something. He clenched his jaw. I didn't push you because I'm not a monster. I know. Her eyes softened. That's why they chose you. Adrian's breath caught. Stop. Just stop talking like this. It scares you. Damn right it scares me. The boat rocked suddenly, a deep vibration rolling through the hull. Adrian grabbed the rail for balance. Lyrian's eyes widened. They found me. Adrian felt the blood drain from his face. Who? She looked toward the water, shivering. The retrieval unit. They track biometric signatures. They must have followed my trail. Another impact, harder this time, struck the underside of the boat. Adrian nearly fell. Lyrian whispered, please, don't hand me over. If they take me back, I die. Before Adrian could respond, a metallic clang rang out beneath the deck, like something was attaching itself to the hull. A faint electric hum began pulsing through the boat. Lyrian gasped. EMP harpoon. They're disabling the vessel. Adrian's heart thundered. Why would a lab need something like that? Because once we escape, we don't return willingly. A shadow passed under the water, big, fast, mechanical. Adrian's survival instincts kicked in, drowning out his confusion. Tell me what to do. Lyrian stared at him with raw, fragile hope. Help me hide. Another metal strike hit the hull, louder. This time, Adrian heard something latch. He grabbed her arm. Move. She winced at the touch but didn't resist as he dragged her toward the cabin. Behind them, an engine roar split through the night, heavy, military grade. A spotlight snapped on from a black vessel approaching fast. Lyrian whispered, it's them. It's really them. Adrian's breath trembled, and for the first time since he'd pulled her aboard, fear wasn't just in her eyes, it was in his too. The nightmare had only begun. The black vessel cut through the water like a blade, its spotlight sweeping across the deck. Adrian shoved Lyrian into the cabin and slammed the door shut, killing the interior light. His breath came fast and uneven as he crouched beside her. Stay down, he whispered. Lyrian pressed herself against the corner, arms wrapped around her torso, her tail trembling in small spasms. She wasn't built for panic. Her whole body reacted like it was shutting down. What are they going to do if they find you? Adrian asked, voice barely audible. Lyrian lowered her eyes. They'll terminate me. I wasn't supposed to leave. Adrian felt something sharp dig into his chest. Fear. Sympathy. He couldn't tell anymore. All he knew was that the terror in her voice was real. A metallic thud echoed from the deck, heavy boots. Adrian peeked through the cabin window. 3 figures in dark wetsuits, armored, helmets with reflective visors. Not Coast Guard. Not police. This was a retrieval squad. One of them scanned the deck with a device that emitted a faint ticking sound. Lyrian stiffened immediately. "That's a biosignature monitor," she whispered. "It reads heat variations from genetic frequencies." Adrian's jaw clenched. "They can detect you through walls." "Yes." He swallowed hard, mind racing. "Is there anything that can block the signal?" She hesitated, then nodded slowly. "Lead." Adrian blinked. "Lead? Where the hell am I supposed to find lead on a fishing boat?" Her gaze flicked toward the floor. "Ballast weight." He didn't understand at first, then it clicked. The older boats used lead bricks as counterweight. Adrian moved quickly, crawling to the edge of the cabin floor and ripping up the loose hatch panel. Cold seawater sloshed around the space beneath. 4 lead bricks lay secured in a grid. He dragged them out one by one, muscles straining. Lyrian watched with wide eyes, barely breathing. He stacked the bricks beside her. "If I cover you with these, it will hide my signature." She finished. But what? "It will hurt." Adrian stared at her, then at the bricks. "How bad?" Her voice was thin. "Lead disrupts our electrical field. It's like being burned." The boots outside grew louder. Someone tried the cabin door handle. Adrian didn't have time to think. "Do it. You want to live. This is how." Lyrian nodded, biting her lip so hard he saw it tremble. She laid flat on her stomach, tail curled toward her chest. Adrian placed the first brick on her back. She gasped, body arching violently. "Sorry," he whispered. "Hang on." He added the second. Her breath hitched. Her fingers clenched into the floorboards. Tears pricked at the corners of her strange reflective eyes. The third brick made her whimper, quiet, like she was ashamed of the sound. Adrian hesitated before lowering the fourth. "I can take it," she whispered, trembling. "Just do it." He lowered the last one gently. She let out a sharp, strangled noise that cut him like a blade. "Okay," he whispered, voice cracking. "It's done." She curled her fingers around his wrists suddenly, gripping with surprising strength. "Adrian, don't give me to them. I'm not planning to." Outside, a retrieval agent spoke in a distorted voice through his helmet. Biosignature dropped. "She's either below deck or she jumped." Another voice responded, "Sweep the cabin." Adrian's heart sank. The door handle rattled again, this time harder. Adrian stood, grabbing the nearest object he could find, a heavy wrench. The door burst open. A tall agent stepped inside, scanning with a flashlight. "Sir, step away from the floor." Adrian forced his expression to stay neutral. "Who the hell are you people? You crashed into my boat." The agent raised a gloved hand. "Remain calm. We're responding to a distress signal." Adrian scoffed. "I didn't send any damn signal." "Then someone else on board did," the agent replied, stepping in deeper. "We detected a classified biological entity in this vicinity. For your safety, allow us to inspect your vessel." Adrian blocked his path. "You're not inspecting anything. I want your badge number." The agent's hand moved fast. Too fast. Adrian barely saw the taser before a crackling arc shot toward him. He dodged left, barely, but the electricity grazed his arm, sending a jolt up his shoulder. Adrian swung the wrench instinctively. It collided with the agent's wrist, knocking the taser to the ground. "Stand down," the agent barked. "No." Adrian shouted back. He didn't even know why he cared this much. All he knew was that the terror in Lyrian's eyes had lit something inside him. The agent lunged forward. Adrian braced for impact. But the boat lurched violently, throwing them both sideways. Water slammed against the hull as something massive passed beneath them. Outside, shouts erupted. Movement under the vessel. "It's not ours. Something else is down there." Adrian's eyes darted to Lyrian. She was trembling, chest heaving. "My sisters," she whispered. Adrian froze. "You're, what?" She winced under the weight of the lead. "They tracked me too. They won't let me go back alone." A loud, shrill scraping sound tore along the side of the hull, like claws on metal. Adrian's stomach twisted. "Are they trying to help you, or kill everything up here?" Lyrian didn't answer. The agent staggered to his feet. "What was that?" Adrian tightened his grip on the wrench. "You tell me. You're the ocean experts." Before the agent could respond, something slammed into the boat again, this time from the side. The entire cabin shook. The lights flickered. Then came a sound Adrian had never heard before, an underwater scream, high-pitched and furious. The retrieval squad outside began firing something into the water, electrics, not bullets. The ocean lit up with blue streaks. Lyrian sobbed softly under the bricks. "They're hurting them." Adrian crouched beside her, anger rising in his chest. "Tell me what to do. Fast." She opened her eyes, pain shimmering through them. We have to escape." "How?" "They've got the boat locked." Her voice thinned. "Break the latch on the EMP node. Then kick it off the hull." Adrian blinked. "You know where they attached it?" "I felt it." He didn't question it. "Not anymore." He grabbed the wrench and rushed outside. The retrieval agents were distracted firing shock nets into the water. Adrian dropped to his knees beside the hull. There, a small, disc-shaped device glowing faintly. He slammed the wrench down on the latch. It didn't budge. He hit it again, harder. Crack. The device snapped loose and slid into the ocean. Instantly, the boat regained full power. The lights flickered back on. Adrian staggered up, breathing hard. But the moment he turned, one of the agents spotted him. There. He removed the node. 3 agents charged toward him. Adrian sprinted back to the cabin, wrench in hand, heart pounding. As he slammed the door behind him, a desperate thought hit him. They were going to board, whether he fought or not. He knelt beside Lyrian. "Tell me we have one chance. Just one." Her eyes were glassy with pain. "There is, but it's dangerous." "What is it?" "You jump." Adrian blinked. "What?" "Into the water," she whispered. "They can't track you down there. My sisters can protect you." "That sounds insane." "It's the only way." Boots thundered across the deck. Adrian grabbed her hand. "If I jump, I'm taking you with me." "You won't survive the depth," she whispered. "Not without me altering you." His breath caught. "Altering me how?" Her hand hovered weakly toward her throat, those faint blue lines pulsing. "By sharing my field." "But you have to jump, now." The cabin door rattled violently. Adrian looked at her. Really looked. He didn't trust her. He didn't trust them. But he trusted one thing. Staying on this boat meant dying. He scooped her up, lead bricks and all, and kicked the cabin window open. Wind and salt water exploded into the room. Lyrian gasped, "Adrian." "Hold your breath," he said, and leapt. They plunged into the black water as the retrieval squad burst into the cabin behind them. And the ocean swallowed them whole. The cold hit Adrian like a hammer. Salt water crashed against his lungs as he forced himself not to inhale. His limbs seized from the shock, but he held tight to Lyrian, whose body convulsed from the lead brick still pressed against her. The surface lights blurred above, flashlights, silhouettes, frantic shouts. Target in the water. Deploy the shock nets. Adrian kicked downward, pulling Lyrian with him. She clung to him weakly, her fingers trembling against his shoulder. The deeper they sank, the darker it became until the world was nothing but black water swallowing the last of the moonlight. Something brushed against Adrian's leg. Then again. He flinched, nearly choking. Lyrian tightened her grip around his neck. "They're here," she whispered through the water, the words vibrating faintly into his jaw rather than carried by sound. Adrian looked down, terrified. Two shapes moved beneath them, long, fast, silent. Their silhouettes glided through the deep like shadows with purpose. Their tails were larger than Lyrian's, their bodies sleek, their motions completely unnatural for ocean creatures. Adrian's heart hammered. "Are those my sisters?" Lyrian murmured. One of the shapes shot upward so fast Adrian didn't even have time to brace. A strong, webbed hand grabbed him by the waist and dragged him down farther. He tried to scream but only bubbles escaped. Lyrian reached out, panicked. "No, wait, stop. He's with me." The creature paused. Adrian stared in horror. Its face was like Lyrian's, sharply symmetrical, eyes reflective like mirrors, but its expression carried nothing human. It studied Adrian with cold calculation, then released him, leaving him suspended. Lyrian swam clumsily toward him. "Adrian, don't panic." "You tell me that now," he shot back, chest burning. One of the sisters circled him, her voice rippling through the water like a distorted echo. "He is the donor." Lyrian nodded. The sister moved closer, inspecting Adrian like he was livestock. "He is sufficient. We can proceed." Adrian shook his head violently. "No, no, 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 nothing proceeds. I'm not doing anything with." Lyrian placed a hand on his cheek. "You're running out of air." He froze. The pressure crushed in around his lungs. Every second hurt. "Let me share my field," she whispered. "I don't know what that means." She pressed her forehead to his. The world flashed white. Adrian felt something surge through his skull, down his spine, across his ribs. A tingling spread under his skin, then a burning sensation, sharp, electric, as if invisible wires rewired his lungs. He jerked back, gasping. Except, he wasn't gasping water. He was breathing. His lungs filled. The suffocation vanished. His chest expanded normally, like he was breathing open air. What did you do to me?" he stammered. Lyrian looked exhausted, her body shaking. "Temporarily shifted your pulmonary field. You can breathe down here now." Adrian touched his chest, stunned. "I'm breathing water." "Yes. Please, don't panic." He tried not to. Tried to steady himself. But one of the sisters swam in a tight circle around him, analyzing him like a specimen. "He's compatible," she said. Adrian glared. "I'm not a damn science project." "You were designed to be one," the sister replied calmly. Lyrian grabbed Adrian's arm protectively. "Leave him. He saved me." "He endangered you," the sister countered. A mechanical whine rippled from above. The retrieval vessel was deploying something into the water, something big. Lyrian stiffened. "They're dropping depth nets." Electric strands drifted downward like glowing spiderwebs, spreading fast. One of the sisters hissed. "They're going to sweep the entire grid." "Follow me," Lyrian cried, pulling Adrian by the hand. He kicked after her, lungs burning from the unnatural sensation of water passing through them. They dove deeper, dodging the expanding nets. The ocean pulsed with flashes of blue electricity. Adrian saw a net brush one of the sisters. She screamed underwater, body convulsing. Lyrian cried out. Arya! Adrian felt helpless but followed as Lyrian dragged him toward a dark crevice between two rising rock walls. This way, she yelled. They squeezed into the narrow passage, the electric nets scraping the edges behind them. The deeper they went, the more the walls closed in. Adrian grit his teeth. Where does this even lead? A chamber, Lyrian said breathlessly. We hide there. One problem, Adrian muttered. It's getting tighter. Don't stop. Adrian forced himself forward, chest scraping rock, lungs tight with unfamiliar breathing. Lyrian pushed ahead of him, guiding him through the narrowing tunnel. Suddenly, the stone walls dropped away. They spilled into a hollow air pocket inside a submerged cave. Adrian's head broke the surface. He pulled in real air, coughing violently. Lyrian floated beside him, tail moving weakly. Her face was strained, her gills fluttering irregularly. Adrian swam to a rock ledge and helped her up. Are you all right? She nodded faintly, though her eyes said otherwise. The lead, and the escape, drained me. The second sister slipped into the cavern behind them, dragging Arya, the injured one, who limped with visible pain. The healthy sister leveled a cold stare at Adrian. You slowed us down. Adrian stood up sharply, chest heaving. You're welcome for helping your sister breathe, lady. Lyrian pushed herself between them. Stop. He's with me. The sister's eyes narrowed. Your attachment is clouding your judgment. It's empathy, Lyrian snapped. Something you should learn. The sister's gaze shifted to Adrian. You think you understand anything about us? No, Adrian said bluntly. But I know fear when I see it. You're running too. The sister stiffened. Her tail flared slowly in agitation. Lyrian touched the rock with trembling hands. They won't stop until we're all captured again. Arya looked at Adrian with half-lidded eyes. They'll kill him too. He's contaminated now. Adrian's heart dropped. Come again. Lyrian's voice was weak. You breathed our field. They'll classify you as compromised. They won't let you live. Adrian paced, gripping his hair. So I jump in the water to survive them, and now they want to kill me because I survived. That is how your kind works, the sister said coldly. Lyrian flinched at the words. He is not like them. Adrian pointed at her. You don't know me. Lyrian looked down sadly. I know your father. Adrian froze. Silence stretched, cold and suffocating. What did you just say? He whispered. Lyrian's voice trembled. He helped create us. He designed the replication protocol. He. No, Adrian stepped back. No, my dad was a diver. A researcher. He wasn't. He wasn't what you think. Lyrian met his eyes, pain swirling in her gaze. He was the lead genetic architect of Project Siren. The cave fell silent. Adrian's pulse pounded in his ears. You're lying. I'm not, she whispered. He disappeared because he stayed down there. He never left the facility. Adrian shook his head violently. That's impossible. Lyrian reached toward him, fingers trembling. Adrian, he might still be alive. He stared at her, world tilting under his feet. The sister interrupted sharply. Enough. We need to move. Lyrian looked at Adrian with desperation. I know you're overwhelmed. But we need you. I need you. They won't stop until they have us all. Adrian's voice was raw. What do you want from me? Lyrian stepped closer, eyes shimmering with fear and something deeper. I want you to help us take down the facility. Adrian stared at her. You want me to go into the place that created you? He asked. No, she whispered. I want you to destroy it. Outside the cave, muffled sonar pings echoed, growing closer. They were about to be found. And Adrian had to decide fast. He didn't know how long he'd been running. Maybe hours. Maybe minutes. Time blurred into the pounding slap of water against stone, the rasp of his breathing, and the echo of his name behind him, sometimes Elena's voice, sometimes something pretending to be Elena. He wasn't sure which was worse. When he finally reached the far cavern, he collapsed behind a cluster of jagged rocks, sucking in air as quietly as he could. The glowing walls had darkened, pulsing in a slower rhythm. Almost like the cave itself was holding its breath, waiting for what came next. Alex, the voice drifted through the chamber. Elena's. But not. Too steady. Too calm. He didn't answer. He pressed his back against the rock, clenching his jaw to stop his teeth from chattering. He needed a plan. He needed. A sudden splash echoed nearby. His muscles tensed. Alex, the voice repeated, closer now. Come out. We don't have to end this violently. He swallowed hard and forced himself to stand. Running wasn't working. Hiding wasn't working. And deep down, he knew she wouldn't kill him. He was too valuable. But she'd drag him back. Force him into whatever ritual the mermaids needed. He stepped out slowly. Elena was hovering in the water, her form shifting, scales rippling like oil. Her eyes glowed faintly, a color he didn't recognize, neither the Elena he'd met nor the creature she had revealed herself to be. You're exhausted, she said softly. Let me help you. You lied to me. His voice cracked. She tilted her head. I told you what mattered. You were chosen. Our survival depends on that. He took a shaky breath. You attacked the boatman. Her expression didn't change. He interfered. You manipulated me. I protected you. He laughed, broken, disbelieving. Protected me? From what? Her gaze sharpened. From becoming prey, she said simply. My sisters wanted you, but not the way you think. They saw you as a seed-bearer. Nothing more. But me, her voice grew softer. I wanted you alive. I wanted you for myself. He stepped back. Her lips curled into something like pain. Something almost human. You feel it too, she whispered. The pull between us. Don't deny it. He shook his head. You don't love me, Elena. You need me. That's different. For the first time, her expression cracked. Something raw. Something furious. You don't understand what's at stake, she hissed. Our waters are dying. Our eggs won't hatch. We are disappearing, Alex. And you, your blood, your breath, your presence, awakens something dormant in us. Something ancient. You were made for us. No, his voice steadied. You just want control. He turned and ran, again, but this time, he wasn't heading deeper. He sprinted toward the tunnel he came from. Toward the boatman's abandoned supplies. Toward the faint possibility of escape. Her scream shook the chamber, a sound that split the air like lightning. The water behind him erupted. He shoved himself up the slippery slope, lungs burning, fingers scraping rock. The water surged after him like a living creature, slapping against his ankles, then his calves. Elena exploded out of the pool, grabbing his wrist. Stop fighting me. He twisted hard, his shoulder screaming in pain, and somehow slipped free. He scrambled up the incline, pulling himself onto a ledge. She slammed into the stone wall below him, snarling. "You can't leave," she cried. "If you go, they'll take you. They'll tear you apart." He hesitated. Not because he believed her, but because she sounded terrified. "What are you talking about?" he asked through clenched teeth. She shuddered. "My sisters. They've followed your scent. They're close. You're not just chosen, you're claimed. And if they reach you first." She went silent. His stomach knotted. "So what?" he demanded. "Your plan is to keep me here forever." "To keep you alive," she snapped. Their eyes locked. Something ancient stirred behind her irises, a warning. A truth she hadn't wanted to share. "They are mothers," she whispered. "I am not." The meaning slammed into him. Her sisters didn't want him for breeding. They wanted him for something else. Something fatal. He didn't have time to think. A distant rumble vibrated the rocks. A chorus of shrill, haunting calls echoed through the tunnels. Elena flinched. "They're here." "Then help me escape," he said. Her expression twisted, hope and agony warred inside her. For a heartbeat, he thought she might refuse. Then she surged forward, grabbed his arm, and pulled him into a different tunnel, one he hadn't seen. "This way," she whispered. "There's another exit. It leads to the open sea. You can swim for shore." He let her guide him, his feet slipping on wet stone as the strange haunting voices grew louder, angrier. Behind them, the water churned violently. Her grip tightened. "They're faster than me," she said. "Stronger. But they won't expect me to help you. Keep moving." He stumbled. "Why help me now?" She didn't look back. "Because I wanted you," she said softly. "But not as a prisoner." The tunnel widened, revealing a towering cavern with a roaring opening that led out to the stormy sea. Waves crashed violently against jagged rocks. Elena stopped at the edge. "This is your only chance." "And you?" he asked. She smiled, small, sad, strangely human. "I'll hold them back." He stared at her, chest tight. "You'll die." "Maybe." She brushed her fingers gently against his cheek. "But you were the first thing I wanted for myself. And that means something, even to a monster." She pushed him. Not hard. Just enough that he stumbled toward the opening, the escape. Behind him, the tunnel thundered with the arrival of her sisters. Their screams tore through the cavern like knives. Elena turned away from him, her form shifting again, scales hardening, fins sharpening like blades. She positioned herself between him and the tunnel. "Go," she screamed. Alex jumped. The cold ocean swallowed him whole. He kicked hard, fighting the current, forcing himself toward the distant glimmer of moonlit waves. Behind him, beneath the water, he could hear the battle, shrill cries, furious hissing, the thrash of bodies colliding. He didn't look back. He swam until the waves calmed. He swam until dawn. He swam until his limbs nearly stopped working. When he finally reached shore, collapsing on the sand, the sun was rising in soft pink streaks. He lay there shivering, gasping, staring at the horizon. For a moment, he imagined a dark shape beneath the waves. Watching him. Protecting him. Or saying goodbye. He couldn't tell. But one thing was certain. He would never forget her. And he would never be sure if he escaped. Or was released. If you want more chilling stories like this, make sure you subscribe, leave a comment, and like the video. It helps the channel more than you know, and it keeps these stories coming.